The Headsock gang.
Yeah.
My guys, this
Hey, he didn't do it so.
dude who have a Headsock. What's up with that? Why do you always wear headgear when you come here, you guys?
I'm trying to create a signature.
Are you losing here?
No.
It's only with people that lose here and the ones that.
No, like if you're always wearing like a hat all the time, people are going to start thinking like, what's up with that, you know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's just a question.
There's a
Ain't
point,
nothing
eh,
wrong
boy?
with losing some hair.
You
Tilimbo alikuwa taka ka bowhead.
Yeah, some guys feel ashamed of that,
Hey.
which I find a bit weird. I can understand for ladies to kind of feel like,
Yeah.
because you know they have more like they identify more with their hair.
Yeah.
Their hair is
Yeah.
a big part of their personality.
Yeah.
But for dudes, it's like, just let it go, man. Like, the John General, there's a picture.
Like when his hair like this.
The barber who lined him up, God, you like,
Still wants to have hair,
A
man.
bowhead is it's given genetically. So normally ladies it can be there, but
Yeah.
it can't show. But when they give birth to a male child, definitely it will show up.
oh,
Yes.
okay. I see. That's an interesting thing. But quite one I learned that alopecia,
Oh yeah, the patient.
the thingy that Will Smith's wife. I don't know if she still is wife, Jada Pinkett. She says she has. That's why she kind of cuts her hair bald now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you feel.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's get into
Let's
it.
get it.
gents.
Let's get it.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to your 5th edition of the Land of Work and Joy podcast. This is your host, Mr. K, my co-host, Saint J, and Blessed.
Yo. Babule. Oh, blessed.
Buleva sugar.
Yeah, Bule is weird calling me. You know? Yeah, I can't answer this right now. And yeah, professionalism.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's not waste any time, man. We all know what's going on. You know, we talked about last week on the last episode. We were talking about you know, Mwaka Halwindi and her issues with the leaked video and whatnot. Yeah. So there have been further developments to that whole issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you know about and you know what's going on. Yeah.
Yeah, because
David-
I was thinking about something else.
What are
Like
you
further,
thinking
like
about?
minafunya poka mbio or
Nikulipoka part 2.
part 2 verse 3.
It's a series.
Yeah.
Oh.
No. So the issue is David Kazadi has been picked up by the police
Mr.
in
David,
relation to that same issue for
The
Mwaka
leaked
Halwindi.
video.
Yes, so that's the development. And we talked about David last week.
Yeah.
You know, bro, I was giving him his props, like, you know, this is a guy that the industry needs and all of that type of stuff. And then this happens. Kind of just, you know, put some bad...
You think he's the one in the video?
I don't know. But you see, like, when you look at the reports and everything, because apparently even Hot FM has relinquished him of all his duties. So
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure what that English means when they say relinquish. Maybe does it mean he's been fired?
Yeah,
Or
he's
is
been
it-
fired.
Yeah. So for him to be fired from Hot FM, that's not a small thing.
Yeah.
So that's where my suspicion is to say that
Maybe he's the one.
there's a strong possibility
That he's the
that
one.
he's got something to do with that.
Okay.
Yeah, not that he's the one, but whatever involvement.
He's got
he
some
may
connection there. Because
have. Yes,
why is he
there's
being?
a strong possibility that he's part of that. Because for them to let him go, they are also trying to make sure that their brand is not tarnished by the whole drama and what's this.
But,
Yeah.
But have you thought about it, right? So in this situation, it's two things. It's either he's connected to this thing, like it's more like it's a movement or whatever happened, like, or the second thing is he's the one in the video. It's just two in connection with
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
See
Those are
that
the only two
there are two
possibilities.
issues
Yeah.
there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So it's either he's the one in the video
Yeah.
or at some point he's connected to that girl being maybe I
That
don't
video
know
going
issue
viral or leaking. Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it's on two.
It's one of those two.
One of those.
But
Possibly, what do you think is it that the girl said at the police for the police to pick? The dude.
The dude.
Yeah.
Okay, like when I look at it, like I think when the video came out, the girl was asked to say, she was probably interrogated to ask like, yo, who released this video? Who sent this video? You know, and I'm sure not I'm sure, but I'm guessing maybe it's a situation where like, yo, we need to find out who leaked this thing. Because if it's you, there's going to be consequences for that. So I'm sure AFY she was just like, hey man, I'm not trying to go in for nobody. You know? So she probably said, no, it's not me. You know, and then now if you say it's not you, they're going to ask you, okay, in that case, if it's not you, then who else had the video? Yeah. You know, so from there, I'm sure that's when I just said, you know, as far as I can think, the guy that I was with when that was happening is this dude.
So that points out that.
Yeah, like, you know, or the only other person I know who had this video is this guy.
Him.
Yeah.
Or what gero Samsung 30. New win one video.
Yeah.
When I just at yo. Naina
No,
kukara
but
Teine. Okay.
No. Bro, he can refuse, but at the end of the day, there's no smoke without fire. There's no way a lady will come and point at you saying that you are the one that impregnated me. Without you being like, without her having the knowledge that you at some point you had an intimate relationship.
No, okay, sometimes it can happen.
Because they have to find proof for that.
Yes. No, but that's why they're the police.
Yeah, that's what
they have
to investigate.
So he can deny that, but that's why they are going to investigate. That's why investigations are to get down to the truth. And you know, they have the jurisdiction to investigate.
True.
I mean, it's a video that was shot in that particular moment. I don't think it's a situation where there was a third party or assist. Okay, so there's two people involved there, and one of them was taking the video.
Yeah,
there are digital records for these things.
Whoever
sent that thing in the first instance, it will show.
True.
There's ways you can find that out. So I think they'll probably get down to.
But remember, so there's a video on social media again where Kazad was like, yo, people, you've been talking ABCD about me.
Yeah.
Maybe I should release a
tape. Or
tape.
Like that. When was that recorded?
I don't know if it was last year or some. Yeah, but sometime last year.
That was this was 2025.
Yeah, I think it should be. It was 2024.
2024.
Yeah.
Okay.
But how do you say that?
I think it's just coincidence, and you know that this has happened. I don't think it has anything in relation to do with this. But I think it's just coincidence.
Yeah.
You say something in the moment, and unfortunately, you end up in a situation like that.
So tongue has the power.
Be careful what you say, man. You're going to manifest some stuff you're not very comfortable with, you know. Because you'll be saying some things, and then, you know.
Okay, but let's wait on the police.
Yeah, so we'll probably have to wait on the investigation so that we just avoid speculation, because, you know, we shouldn't be out here just giving out falsehoods and, you know, coming up with fake assumptions and all this. Yeah. But you see, last week, that's why I was asking you guys. I think it was same information.
Yeah.
You were saying like, no, she sent the video to her friend. But now, fast forward, it's like the girl refuses, like, no, I didn't send this to my friend. Like somebody else sent that video. You see that? Yes, but that's the only reason this guy is being picked up. Because why else would he be picked up?
Yeah.
Because she's refused. Like, I'm not the one who, you know. Yeah.
Shit.
That's the only reason. So, you know, you gotta verify your facts, man.
You
can't be here telling people.
Voice note.
Yeah.
Yes, I get it, but we still have to put it to say according to this voice note or according to that, because then now you see the information that's coming out now is contrary to that. It's different. Yeah. So we have to be careful in the sense of what we say and put out. Just to maintain accuracy and also giving people accurate information is important. Yeah. So, you know, that's that situation with those guys.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering, like, because he's not if indeed he is the one in the video, and he is the one who sent that to somebody, what then would be the particular punishment that he's going to receive from that? Or is he going to be convicted or what? Not that he should be. I'm just thinking because, there are other people who've been involved in such situations.
Yeah.
But I'm yet to see like somebody who's gone in for a long time for that.
Not long time, but somebody, you cyber loan and can tell you are in
Yeah.
Elias. Wasn't that the cyber thing?
No.
But with Elias,
Concerning
it was
the
different. No,
explicit kind of
yes,
content,
Oh,
no one has gone
explicit,
in for that.
Oh.
But there are charges.
Bali bushanomba. Kaide hii neba bushire hii nani cyber shani.
When was the other girl's
It was this year.
the other lady, what's her name? Is it Chikondi?
Chikondi.
Yes, when did that come out?
It was this year, I think, early this year.
Early
summer
this year.
months
Huh?
ago.
Yeah.
But she was also kind of picked up by the police.
Yeah, she was picked up.
went,
Then they charged. I think she paid about
She was
5,000.
fined.
She was fined.
Yeah.
She was not arrested.
Yeah.
So I think she was detained. Like,
Well, that was before the whole passing of the cyber law.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So now that they've passed the cyber law and bill, then that will have to apply to this situation.
Because it's like once you share obscene material to another person on
Yeah.
WhatsApp, they're starting from there. That's why they say that do not share, do not help spread. So the help in spread is sharing to the next person, to a group.
Yeah.
Because like that now that's like a large number of people.
Yeah. That's the
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
That's,
the thing, yeah.
Because if you say that, like, you're going to arrest a very huge population.
Yeah, because then
Yeah, because the reality is that this
Yeah.
thing, like, and you know the way people are, you tell them, don't do this.
Yeah.
But I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
So that will be what I think. If you have my video, not going to me. I will watch them on your phone.
But I'm telling you, like people will still send this stuff.
Yeah.
There's just a way in which people
Yeah,
there's that little rebellious thing when people tell you, don't do this and whatnot.
I think of all the people, let's say, Ngabuleshta share something.
Yeah.
I think the most person who is more likely to be apprehended or being picked is the first guy who.
Yes. The first distribution point.
Aye.
Yeah. Because you're the one who initially picked it up
Yeah.
and said, okay, let me send it. Yeah. Anyway, we'll see how this plays out. This world of cyber
Zicta is working.
it's interesting.
Zicta is working day in day.
It's going to be a very interesting time with this cyber law and what's this. But there's also the other girl from the Copper Belt, I think.
Yeah.
I never really got to what the story
Yeah, she was
but
picked
also
up.
kind of picked up.
She was
for
picked. I think she was
producing.
also fined.
She was
I think
also fined,
they paid
At
her.
that level, it was just idea and kind of.
But it was still obscene material that was being produced and distributed. Okay.
I think as we go, there will be more tougher laws for that because now they will see like no, since the youth are
becoming like a thing,
so you think you're just only going to be engaged here.
Yeah.
You think you're only going to be fined here and then you get away with it. So that they'll maybe put more maybe tougher laws.
Find that you're getting like a 5 years or like a 3 years.
Or maybe you'll be fined and you save maybe community staff.
Maybe. So here's another interesting question. Do you think they should impose a tougher or stiffer punishment for that? Producing and distributing obscene material. That delay is very worrying.
No.
Yeah. What
are you worried about, guys?
No, I'm not worried.
Okay. What's the delay, man? Like, I've just asked, do you think? It's a yes or no?
I think there should be more sensitization on not doing that. Let's go. There should be more sensitization on not actually engaging to do that.
Okay.
So people should be more afraid of not doing it actually than actually.
But don't you think a stiffer punishment is what would deter people from doing it?
No,
because apparently, allegedly, well, I heard from somebody else that the girl from the Copper Belt who had released those videos and all this, the one you're saying who was fined, like after this whole Kazadi thing has come out, she was there like on social media, kind of like making a commentary on this, like, so Kanshi, this is how it feels when people are talking about you like this, you know. Because I didn't know I'd like to get a piece of him and that type of thing.
I'd love to
Also
hold his
like to do that
cucumber.
to- yeah, something like that.
On the same girl was fine.
Yes.
She was not remorseful, yeah?
You see what I'm saying? Despite being
but-
picked up and being fined, it seems like, not say that she doesn't regret it, but that kind of thing, like if you are really, going through it and really thinking about what you've done.
But I think just to concur with Senje, like I think before, let's say maybe passing a more stiffer punishment, there must be some kind of sensitization, especially to youth.
Okay, so you
Yeah.
are of the agreement, or rather, you do agree to say that there should be a stiffer punishment.
Yeah, but before
but
that,
they should do some sensitization.
sensitization, yeah.
Okay, so when you say sensitization, what do you think would be the most effective way of doing this? Because I think most of the times when you see, like, even the way the cyber law thingy has been done, you see it mostly on social media.
Yeah.
Maybe there'll be some announcements on news here and there.
Yeah.
I am yet to see a presentation outside that that really goes into it and breaks this stuff down. Yeah. So what do you think would be the most effective way to sensitize people about this? Or those new laws that they are going to pass and whatnot?
Put it
in a song, eh?
Yeah, like here, pairs on.
Yeah.
We talk about it like on the podcast.
Yeah.
They can pairs. Then
Through
we
influencers,
talk, yeah.
through what? Like these days, digital HR number.
Yeah. Yeah.
You get to the dangers of it, why it's not okay for you to do that. Even maybe create a kind of animation whereby if you have a molecular
Yes.
and then number. I don't know number to an animation will be maybe a wrong concept because that's a cartoon, maybe kids might watch it.
Okay,
but it would be something that to teach an adolescent.
Yes,
saying
that
when you
thing.
do this when you're still young, and then number and then now you've got children, and then because now you're thinking different now.
I think it's something they need to put even like in the TV series.
Yeah.
You have a character that goes through that situation. and
So
see
even
how that
engage
goes on.
writers like TV, like script writers.
Yeah.
About it,
Yes.
can include such stories in there so that people can learn a bit.
Yes.
So as time goes, people will know.
Yeah,
know?
they'll get a better hand of it.
Yeah.
I think like what you said. I think one, there should be a stiffer punishment, but it should be within reason.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be a ridiculous thing now where like somebody's life just goes haywire, like because Zambian prison, like I was say, it's not a joke, bro. Like it's not something you wish on someone. It's not a nice place to be. That it'll break your soul. The few people that I know that have been to prison, like it's horror stories, man. So it's not something I would advocate to say that just sending people there and what's this. Of course, there should be a stiff punishment, but it should be within reason.
Of course.
Yeah, I think maybe a 2-year stint or something. Anyway, that's subjective.
2 what?
2 year.
2 years.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that's enough.
Let's do 6 months with hard labor. First offender.
First time offender, 1 year with hard labor.
Yeah. We're negotiating now, yeah? I am the law.
No, we're discussing. Yeah, we are the law. We are the law.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
are the citizens. These are our submissions. So even when they come to like constitutional changes, these are the submissions we must
Of
put
course.
in there. Say, no, when
Yeah.
it comes to such laws, before we think umuntu mfune wamkaka.
Yeah, I am a so.
Because I was seeing like there was another case. Don't quote me on it. I'm trying to recall specifically. There was another situation where it's a gentleman. He got locked up for. He acquired money from somebody. I think this person had their goods seized. They're a business person, then they had their goods seized from the border by ZRA or something.
Okay.
Then this person went to that same individual who had their goods seized with the notion of saying, no, give me so much money, I'll go and recover your goods. Then that person paid them money. I think about 1.4 million kwacha. And didn't acquire the goods as they had promised. So the guy took him to court and what's this. So eventually the guy paid back, but the court was still of the mindset that no, you paying back does not avoid say that you committed this crime.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so you still need to go in. and he went in for about 2 years.
Oh,
So that's for that particular issue. You stole like 1.4 million kwacha. So now you're in for like 2 years. You know, so I'm just looking at it like that, because if you do a 1 year stint, you know, it's long enough.
That's long enough.
It's long enough,
12
but also
months.
it's not ridiculously long that it's going to, you know, decapitate you, for lack of better terms. It's not going to cut your head off
But I
like
th-
that.
but
Nankara
it's still
chair
more.
like what-
It might look.
No, I'm not. The thing is, it's not going to be. Again, you can't give a lax. Then it defeats the purpose.
Yeah.
You see that there must be an appreciation to say that the consequences for this are grave.
Yeah.
Consequences are what will teach you not to do that. But if there are no heavy consequences,
Then it's nothing. Because I've also been thinking, like prison also, I don't know whether it's in the world or just here. When you, there are different offenders in prison, right?
Yes.
Like they did different things. Wimby, it's for murder, he killed someone, someone stole in a shop. What? I think there's different. I think those people are supposed to be in different reforms.
okay.
Like there should be different reforms, like a murder and the same kind of way someone just accused of stealing, allegedly you're trying to steal, then like different minds, man. Not like for real. Attempted, shan, different minds.
Yeah.
Like,
I
there should be certain sections of certain
I
reform.
think you do have a point. I
Because
think you
what's
do have
that-
a point. And I think in certain, I don't know about I don't know about here, but I think in other countries they kind of do. They do separate
Yeah.
in some way, shape, or form.
You know, at some point there
I'm
should
not
be
sure
that.
about here, because at a certain point, I think it also becomes about resources, because separation is, you know, when you have people in one thing, it's cheaper to just, but when you start doing separation, it's going to cost you a bit more.
Yeah.
So meaning you have to maybe build a separate arrangement for those people, meaning more money and what's this, yeah. But yeah, you do have a point there, because yo, bro, like
Yeah.
being in the, like, bro, I stole what? I stole
A
10,000 kwacha.
Yeah.
You killed 2 people.
Yeah, you killed 2 people, bro.
Those are two different minds, eh?
That's something else.
Yeah.
Because what if now that guy gets to be friends with that guy, and then now he learns that skill,
Yep.
and then now he gets out, he's in that same situation.
Yeah.
He applies that skill.
Or even just murders you there in prison. bro.
You know, you know what
people
I
are not,
mean.
too
Have we
right.
had such cases in Zambian prisons?
Maybe that
like,
they're just
where-
not televised.
That's something we need to research in.
They are
like
not
where
documented.
someone
Yeah.
was murdered by his
At a prison.
inmates.
The one I heard about was an inmate who was released.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if he was released. They were released on pardon. Then he went and killed more people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But in terms of like a prisoner killing a prisoner, like I don't know, we would have to do some research on that. But I do think it has happened.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I
because
think
you
those
can't tell me
things
the
happen.
entirety of the prison system, nothing like that has happened.
People in there fight.
Yeah, they do
Yeah,
fight.
they do fight.
But okay, fighting is one thing.
Yeah.
But
you know,
killing someone.
yeah, fighting and
Killing
killing
an
are two
inmate.
different
Yeah.
things.
I
You
mean,
can
like, fight-
then somebody dies from the
A
fight.
fight leads to it can lead to that. It's
Yes,
dangerous.
but
in
it
there.
wasn't your intent.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like that's why the difference is. That's why sometimes you have like manslaughter and murder.
And murder,
I
yeah.
think that's the difference between manslaughter
yeah.
and murder. I'm not sure. We need confirmation, but again, we need a lawyer on this podcast.
We need counsel on this one, eh?
Yeah, we do. We do.
Yeah.
You know, murder is premeditated. Like you've thought like, "Uyunde muipayo, I'm going to kill you." Zampaya chill you.
Intent to
Ah,
kill, right?
feel you, che. Yeah, that's what your plan is. You are not going there to say like, "We get into a scuffle. I'm angry with you. I push you. You drop and you hit your head and you die." That's different. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's that. But did you read the article on Kalemba about Kazadi himself?
Oh yeah.
Ati-
You know, like it's always nice, like.
That's how I
you
heard.
can go ahead.
Ati, the way Mwako was
No, let me read it.
ferocious.
You heard it
Bwana
first
kumbuka
hand.
Mr. Kenneth. Ferocious. Like yo, bro.
Achakana kasungukani.
Let me read it. Visceral.
Visceral.
Ferocious.
Ferocious.
Now let me read it. Like, you know, there are these guys write the articles, right? It's something else. So let me read it for you.
Badira mawanu muchisongo guys.
Baada ya
So
mawanu.
it says, Mwaka names Kazadi as her customer. This is on Kalemba, by the way. Yeah, it was posted 1 day ago. That should have been what? On the
As
third?
a customer for
No,
what?
on the second.
Yeah. Okay. Mwaka names Kazadi as her customer. Zambian catwalk queen Mwaka Halwindi has named filmmaker and baby making microphone donor David Kazadi as the beneficiary of her oral pleasuring skills,
Baby
as
microphone.
captured in a video that went viral over the weekend. Police sources have confirmed. In the video, the model was captured ferociously devouring the elongated ends of Kazadi.
The
Agamba.
elongated.
I don't mean inashanya percentage yonse nayi kwata mabig words.
Are eri obusali busali.
That's nasty.
Busali busali. Amuchibemba kuntwala ndashani.
But you know, that's why I say like English
Yeah.
English is not it's a very fluffy language. It's not real. Like when you say that statement in your mother tongue, then you just see how vulgar the whole situation is.
Just gets
Yes,
crazy.
it has a different effect to it.
Gets crazy.
Yeah, so then it says, and the male celeb, whose banana was unpeeled with PhD level precision, is seen moaning in silence while his 2 biological avocados were kneaded like dough in a bakery.
Biological avocados. Wow.
Whoever wrote this
That's
article is
some-
malicious, man. Like,
Some creative writing, huh?
it's crazy. It's beyond creative.
Feature writing.
This is malicious now. Like, in the video, Kazadi lay flat like a sacrificial lamb as his human host pipe was passionately unwrapped, baptized with saliva, and serenaded with lips. Over the weekend, Waka
Serenaded.
told Kalemba that she had no role in the circulation of the feast video. And police investigations have now led to filmmaker Kazadi, whom they have now booked in Kawata police station. While an official police statement on the matter is being awaited, sources close to the investigation have told Kalemba that Englishman was held on a possible charge of producing pornographic materials. A possible charge of possessing, a possible charge of producing pornographic materials. So that is the charge that is possibly being held for. Okay. But then another thing from this has also come out of this. So Hot FM have also kind of distanced themselves from this whole situation.
Just like
they've-
any other, isn't that just like any other organization would do?
Yeah, but
I guess so.
Yeah.
I'm hoping those sponsors who are partnered with him in the icon, let's hope they won't
Yes.
pull out,
That's what I
because they
wanted to
wouldn't
find
want
out.
to associate themselves with Kazadi. And
That whole situation. That's what I
yeah,
wanted.
if
Actually,
if he
Who are
if
the
it's
major
true
sponsors?
that it's him and is found guilty of that, I bet they might pull out, because they might not want to associate their brand with such a
Yes.
person.
What are the major sponsors in the icon?
They're a lot.
there are
Like
lots.
the
They're
major
a
ones.
lot.
There should be one.
They should be.
I don't know
They're
if
definitely
I don't know if
set up.
even this time if it's ShopRite or what, because
No,
last
I-
time it was ShopRite.
When we were the first sticker for me, and kind of know it's actually him now. So niggas like, hey, yo.
That's true.
If he's guilty, they'll definitely pull out, and that will affect the icon.
That's wild, because that's what I was trying to think. Like, so with this whole situation, what happens to the icon arrangement now? Yeah, that would be devastating, because there are a lot of people who are banking on this thing, like
Yeah.
going through that and what's this, and even just like a whole package that the people would win was something worth having. I hope it doesn't come to an end. I hope it continues.
Mwamumfira oluse?
Yeah,
Mwamumfira
the dude,
oluse?
Kazadi. Yeah, man, like, I do feel sorry for him. But that doesn't absolve him from the responsibility he had.
Oh, yeah.
I feel sorry for him in the capacity, like, yo, bro, if at all it's him and he's found guilty and he actually did those things, it's unfortunate, you were in a position where you were, contributing to society
So,
on
yeah.
so many levels with his different media productions and all that, which are they're shaping the landscape of our entertainment industry, and then to kind of have that deferred and have that situation that's going to take you away from that, that could possibly take you away from that. It's unfortunate, So I feel sorry for him in that sense, but I also do understand that he still has a sense of responsibility to that.
Yeah.
Again, it's it's a teachable moment, a cautionary tale for all of us, everyone out there, and us included. Like, we have to be careful with what we do and not, find ourselves in tricky spots where we compromise ourselves like that. Yeah, we need to be more responsible with what we're doing.
And someone, I think it's on the same post that Kaliamba, and someone commented that Didi Kazadi.
Eish. Eish.
Didi Kazadi.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Didi Kazadi.
Afu mefede nese assistant nikare.
Yeah.
No, that's crazy. To that comparison is just because what Diddy has allegedly done in comparison to what Kazadi has allegedly done, it's very different things.
Yeah,
Very close things. But yeah, speaking of Diddy though, like just an update on his court case. He's been involved in this very long battle. There's been some cases brought against him, and some very heavy charges.
Yeah.
But he seems to have, had a bit of some victory, even though he hasn't been sentenced yet. Yeah, that's what people need to understand,
So he's been in from September last year, but you haven't been charged yet. Sentenced.
Yet. No, he's been going to court.
Yeah.
So they've been getting
like
through
trial now.
Yeah, they've been going through all those issues and the trial.
But ni shuri mjere.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's the process. It's the legal process of the U.S. Yeah, so he was, found not guilty, I think, on 3 counts out of 5.
Out of 5, yeah.
Yeah, so it says Sean Diddy Combs has been found guilty on prostitution charges and not guilty in sex trafficking and racketeering. And I think the sex trafficking and the racketeering were the heavier charges.
Major.
I'm not sure how much the prostitution charges could possibly get him.
The other one is that RICO. Is it the same with the?
So these what's this racketeering and the sex trafficking? Those are the ones they'll probably put under the whole RICO thing and
Okay.
Yeah. Then for the prostitution charges, I don't know what the penalty for that is. Yeah, but anyway, he seems to have beaten those 2 charges, but the prostitution charges still stick. So I don't know what the sentence is for that. So we'll probably have to wait and hear what the sentencing will be. But and what do you think? Do you think they'll let him go free, or he'll definitely have to do some major time?
As in for me, if he was found guilty of that, the prostitution thing, I think he should get what he deserves to get for that, because it's an offense. He must be an example to those maybe who are thinking of
be offenders. Yes.
Yeah.
He must get what he deserves to get. He must get the punishment.
What I feel about this Diddy thing is like Diddy, I was following that Diddy and Cassie. There's a point where, if they say you're guilty of something, and then when we leave this room, you try to bribe me outside there.
Yeah.
So there's the certain thing of being guilty about that, because you don't want it to go forward. You don't want people to find out the truth. So he had settled Cassie in another situation, right? So she accepts that money, and then now she's just like, oh, no, this guy should just get this.
Yes.
Like, my heart would land if he just spends some time there. For me, I feel like he's guilty of some charges, just like he mentioned. He's guilty of some charges.
Yeah.
But then, if he's supposed to, I think he's going to do less time. He's going to do maybe.
He'll do minimum, he'll do some time,
maybe below 5. I
not
think
a long stint. Huh?
No.
Yeah, I think definitely they'll give him some time.
They'll give him some time.
But whether it will be a hefty one, I'm not sure. Because again, you never know, man.
Yeah.
Like, this is America in the Donald Trump era.
Give you like a 10.
Anything can happen.
Anything can happen. And
A
this
15.
man said he might just
Pardon
pardon this guy.
I don't think he actually said that. He said, he kind of said, probably think over it or something, but I don't think he said he would pardon him, no. I don't think
He would
said
look
that.
in that way then.
Maybe not, because he has actually pardoned like a lot of rappers. Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that's something. That's something again that we.
He's a
look at.
listening
So even if they
president.
might give him like a hefty thingy. This guy might also give him a pardon, so he still ends up walking.
Yeah.
But that's also a might. We don't know how things will play out.
Yeah.
Yeah, because another thing, like what you said with Cassie, because I think Cassie is not very happy with the verdict,
Yeah.
and so she was kind of telling the judges to say like, don't let this guy out on bail,
Yeah.
you know, because I'm worried. I don't know what he's gonna do to me, like
Yeah.
if he gets out on bail.
You know, like the justice system in the States is something else. Like it's real, like it's justice. Because you know, like when a woman says that,
Yeah.
and then you still go ahead and beat that. Because like literally you're saying for my safety.
Yeah.
The reason why he's in there is because like you know,
He might
and then
do
now you
something to
release this
you.
guy. So me, I'm saying this guy, this might happen to
Yeah.
me if you release this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, witnesses. I
Yeah.
don't know who are those.
It's-
But then
it's-
people have
it's-
testified against this guy.
Yeah.
But he still gets to walk like, yo.
But again, I'm sure, like, you know, looking at all the evidence and what's
Yeah.
this and whatnot, that's how they came to that conclusion.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
The
know,
lawyer
certain-
is also
certain cases,
good.
Yeah, you must have.
That's
a
the same
good
lawyer
legal
that
team.
Young Thug was with, right?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
really
Brian
don't
Steele.
know. Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's the same guy that got Young Thug out, and Young Thug
Yeah.
was in there for how many years? 2 years, eh? More than 2 years, eh?
I think so.
Yeah, Young Thug
Yeah,
was
he
almost,
was in there for.
he was
for
in
a
there,
bit.
and he beat like with cases that you could literally go.
Yeah.
But
For
he
G.
beat that. Yeah, he beat that. And then now Diddy's he's also walked like from those big cases that are no longer part of. He should be a good lawyer.
Definitely.
True.
Yeah.
Definitely. But anyway,
Like
let's see how it plays out. And I'm not sure when the sentencing will be, but we'll see what happens. It's been a roller coaster, but
Bad
you know,
boy.
I'm sure a lot of guys have learned from this. They've learned from this.
People-
you know, be careful. Don't get drunk with power.
Yeah.
You know.
You know, in this same thing, whatever was happening,
Yeah.
people eager to see Jay-Z be involved in that. And
Yeah.
then Hope was just like in his own, nah.
Yeah, people are super, yeah,
People wanted
it's
Hope to be involved.
50 is
No.
always like,
Yeah,
that guy,
That
man.
dude.
You know what I think about that? Like that Hope, what 50 does? I think eventually 50, for him, it's about being superior. Like, oh, I told you I was king of New York or something. Like, so those are his opponents.
Yeah.
So the more he tarnishes their name or the
Yeah.
more they are below him, he wins in that case. For
I
me,
think-
50, I think that's how he's wired, that guy.
I think he actually maybe had some real
Yeah.
difference with P. Diddy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with Diddy, yeah.
Like, it's not even about the entertainment or music. It's something.
that guy.
Yes.
On a personal level.
He's got
On a
this thing
personal
with
level,
Ja Rule.
he can't, like,
Yeah.
you know, I think because when the thing with Ja Rule was kind of like, you know, the people they got involved with, I think had some involvement in trying to get 50 killed.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's a different level when somebody tried to
kill
get you
you.
killed and that person is involved with them. Like, it's a different kind of energy. It's different if it's just music. But my life was almost taken.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a very different kind of energy.
Like, this
I
guy is
have
not
to
my
it.
friend.
Yeah.
It's my enemy.
It can happen, bro. Like, it's very tricky.
Yeah.
You know, so it's one of those situations.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't, we'll see how that plays out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know, on a more positive note,
Oh, yeah?
Muzo
Which one?
Alfonso,
Akapondo my sunglasses.
yeah, he recently completed like his stint in rehab.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so now he's out of rehab, getting back into society after doing 7 months. I think that's at Great North Road Rehabilitation Center.
Let's clap for this guy.
Yeah.
How the best?
Yeah, no, congratulations to him for going through that. We hope that, you know, this comes out to, you know, something more positive things. Yeah. He stayed there 7 months.
7 months.
It's quite a bit.
It's quite a
I thought
time.
you was going to be there for more.
Probably. I thought maybe a year or so.
I
But
think-
I'm guessing like they do know what timelines they work with.
Ish, man, I think 7 months is.
You
I think
think
what
he's
I'm
gonna
wanna
relapse?
like how like to what extent is it for everyone? Man? I think it's about what extent
Yes.
you know like those like his abuse was something else because now we're seeing him like people saying he's lost it. You know, 7 months he's lost it. 7 months he's back. You know,
Like again, like you're saying, I think it's dependent on. I don't think it's a one size fits all. It's dependent on the person they're dealing with. So it's a professional rehabilitation center.
yeah.
They do have the methodologies and systems they use probably to assess and help rehabilitate somebody where they know like okay, with this kind of person above kide, like
They can go
yeah,
back in
they
the
can be
society.
reintroduced into society.
Yeah. Sorry, I might forget. I was reading about that, right?
Yes.
So and then he says that he's not going to pursue music now.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, wow. Actually, because I was thinking about that. Like, if that place made you be like
Got you to
to,
that
yeah,
space.
got you to that level, I think you should give it some time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was reading that post. There was so I love to read some comments there.
Yeah.
So there was a comment there from this lady. So then I checked like there's a white guy here.
Yeah.
with this- oh, so maybe this lady is married to this white guy, but she lives in Zambia.
Yeah.
So then she says like, you know what? Okay, quite all right, Muzo, but then she was talking about the school. Okay, so saying so this particular school. I took my thing into this rehab.
Yes.
Yeah. But then even after those months, she said like this guy. He came back home. I said, and I don't know. A weekend came.
You relax.
Yeah, it's there. Maybe if you could go back to there's that post like there's a post like that like so she's explaining like right now as we are speaking because she even took pics because I went to her page. She took pics with this guy like no I can't let him no. But he's gone back to those ways. So you're saying like, well, then you guys like, what do you do there? Like, and I tried to contact, but still no feedback from that. So that's when I was saying, oh no. So like, they should be, like I was saying in the beginning, levels of people,
Yes.
how long someone should stay there.
I think
You know?
like just to agree with Mr. K, like at some point I think they look at someone.
Yeah.
Let's say when you get into rehab, they'll
Yeah.
look at how you
Performing,
committed and the way you're performing.
Your performance as
Definitely, they'll give you a chance to go back to the society. But it doesn't mean when you go back to the society, you are healed completely. Again, it's you yourself, an individual. People have taken interest to help you, bring you back to your normal senses. But at the end of the day, you as an individual, you need your own effort. One. Then two, the environment where you are going to,
Yes.
again, plays a major factor in terms of recovering from that.
Yeah.
It's a process, of course. So the environment. So in a case of Muzo, I guess apart from the rehab, I think he should stay away from those people that were influencing him to drink, those people that were helping buying beer for him. Because definitely, Ngaulinama guys on a cool, like here's the thing. But sometimes I would say me. It's like, okay, I think I should go on a break at least maybe for a month. I don't want to drink. If I'm alone, it's possible to do that. But someone who come through is like, back send where you are someone.
Influence, Bakam.
It's like, so can we do one? I was
Yeah.
like, this again?
Takwete fya kushita shani ile filengesha filaka
Yeah.
fya kuti ureisanga taukwete fya kushita shani tauri fya active so you tend to even though you're withholding you tend to okay, just for me wasting some time let me just maybe take one or two number marisho what for after one or two you want more and
Today you will be in that cycle. Tomorrow, eventually it will be a week, a month.
Yeah.
Then you are back again in that state. So the environment that he will go to, please, they should look at the environment because we don't want the case where this guy started again.
Yes.
So we all those when I see one no, we said it. This guy was bewitched and ABC.
Yeah.
So the environment plays a major factor.
Yeah,
You know.
and I think just to add on to that, like what you said, like you mentioned something that he won't be doing music again.
Yeah.
And I think it's that reason why he's staying away from music.
Yeah.
Because that's where like everything kind of went wrong.
And I was like, check.
So now he's just trying to find something away from that to keep a sober mind and avoid mixing.
Yeah.
Situation.
Yeah.
With that other lady though,
Yeah.
who had I don't know if it's her nephew or whatever.
Yeah. Young brother.
Like, that's a story that she told, so we don't know. That's an alleged thing.
Yeah.
We can't, unless it's verified.
Yeah.
But even if it
But that's
was,
where you get your feedback there.
Where?
Apama comments.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, of course, it could be like we don't know if it's true
Yes.
or what. But then this is not like one person. There's another person. And because when people see a comment like that, that's where they see fit to now also explain their
Well,
other.
they can say all of that, but
Yeah.
again, like it's not, it's people just typing things. There's platforms where you can go and air out your grievances properly, which are more official, which will give more substance to what you're saying and credibility to what you're saying. So instead of just posting on Facebook, because like Facebook is Facebook, man, there's so many things and so many, points of misinformation.
Yeah.
It's not the easiest place to tell what the truth is.
Yeah.
So like for that person, and even if it was true, I'm guessing like with rehab, I don't think it's 100% guaranteed situation. And I think if you check on the Great North Road Rehabilitation Center, or I think many other rehabilitation centers, I don't think they give you a guarantee to say that once this person comes here, the chapwa, they will never go back to it. No.
That's
I
what I'm
think,
saying.
Yeah, like what Moses said. They do their part to the extent that they feel this is what.
But you as an
there are
individual.
other measures now that at a certain point they have to release you into society.
Yeah.
To now see whether this has worked or not.
Yeah.
And that's why now you need a support structure outside that. So it's a difficult thing. Like I know how it could be for the lady because it's her relative. She's a bit emotional about it.
Yeah.
It's something that she's really experiencing. We can't take that pain away from her.
her. Yeah.
Yeah, but like we are saying, I don't think when you take somebody to rehab, they give you 100% guarantee. It's not 100%. People relapse.
Yeah.
We've seen these celebrities, even Hollywood and all these things. They go into rehab, comes out after they relapse, they go back. And these are very expensive rehab places they go to.
Yeah.
But those things happen. I don't think it's a guarantee. I think what she needs to do is seek further support.
Yeah.
To see how exactly that can be reworked. If they're not answering her, or like she's saying, that's a different issue altogether. But I think what she needs to do is go out there and seek further support. But I think she will come out and just say, okay, this place, like I took my nephew there and this didn't work. It's important, okay, for her even to say that. But then again, we also have to see like the success rate of the institution.
Yeah.
How many people have gone in? How many people have been reformed? In comparison to those who've relapsed. You see, I think that would be a fair assessment. If there are more people who have not been reformed than they have been reformed, then there's a problem.
Yeah.
But if the ratio of people who've been reformed is more than those who haven't, then I still think they're doing a good job.
Yeah, because look, this thing, we are welcoming this move, okay? This move should actually be done because I think we need even more recreation, rehabilitation centers. We need more of that because we've been seeing youths, people losing it through like excessive drinking and all those kinds of toxic situations. Yeah. So we need more of that.
Yeah.
So when people sometimes want to be quite iffy, like when she says we don't know whether it's true or not, right? So let's go on whether it's true. Let's start with if it's true. So if it's true, so then she says that, right? And then she says, so this guy has gone back to his old ways.
Yes.
So do you think she's attempting that again? And then people did not pick up when she says, oh no, I tried to contact this the same thingy and they did not get back to me. I did not get the response.
Yeah.
I don't think I don't know how it's reached for her, but she also has her own life going on. But I don't know, because you're saying that now we don't even know now what to do. Because it's now like a habit again. So when that happens again, so people will be holding back, you know. And then she told her story. I don't know how many people. I don't know.
No.
Then, sorry. So then, if it's not true, it's a situation now that she's misleading other people now to not even actually attempt.
Yeah.
And then if you don't attempt now, because we need more people to attempt to do that. Yeah, because a lot of people that are day by day.
Yes.
So if we have more people that would not attempt to do that, then guess what we're having now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
you still have a bad situation.
you're still, you know,
Yeah, and I think that's what I'm also kind of saying. Like, you know, it's better to have rehabilitation centers than nothing.
Yeah.
Because when it's nothing. It's just pure hell. But with the rehabilitation centers, you have some chance.
Yeah.
You know, and there are people who have been reformed from those particular
Yeah.
places. So it's a net positive all in all. Compared to, like, bruh, like in Zambia, like back just a few years back, there was no rehabilitation centers. Bro, if you are going through any mental issues or substance addiction, there's one place you go, China.
Yeah. That's all we've known. Like, that's all we've known. Like, that's where you have to go.
Like back in the day, bro, there was nothing like was they take you to one place. Like you were saying, you know, with the prisoners, where you're mixing, you know, murderers with nurses. Now you're mixing people who've got real mental issues.
Yeah.
Somebody maybe who's got maybe just some form of
psycho, full-blown psycho.
Or, you know, substance abuse, when ideally there should be a separation of things. Just send you to one place, bro, and put you on the same program.
That's the reason.
You know, there's no nuance to it, and nothing comes out of that. You know, you end up being messed up by going through a process you shouldn't have.
Now got a drug addiction in China. Now pena in China.
You know, that's the only place.
That's the
I
reason
think they offer that at China now, my rehabilitation. Huh?
Oh yeah, it's there. Actually.
Yeah.
But
So
I think the government should put in more infrastructures like these, because then they have the resources. They can actually employ people. Because the Great North Academy, thumbs up to them. Like, it's a good thing.
Entity,
because and looking at them, they'll need to employ professionals. So we don't know if they have enough resources, but with the government, then they have resources, and we need more infrastructures of such kind, especially a rehabilitation center.
Yeah.
And as it's been going, like, we need that like serious, the serious cases that now we're seeing people that need that now. So I don't know but that should also be part of the plan.
Yeah, true. What do you think about the story? Is like there's one theory that he was bewitched, that Musa was bewitched.
Oh yeah.
Do you think it holds any water?
Yeah. It's not so much that I can.
He's an attention seeker, that dude.
There's a point where, like, okay, like, if it's true, bro, this is supposed to happen, but then he's not able. A businessman now. There's a point where we thought he like, you know,
it was probably going in.
Jagaban.
Not Jagaban.
Like, he's too vocal. Bro, you are in Nigeria. In Nigeria, there are a lot of things happening, but how do you how have you focused so much on Zambia? Like, what's the problem?
He's got a following here. Like, there are people who really follow him. Yeah. That's the thing. Yeah, if he didn't have a following, he wouldn't pay much attention. But he does have a serious following. There are people who believe.
You asking why he cannot leave this country? He's got a following. Would you leave a following that's like always following you?
But I think he makes money off of his social media and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
because the country is monetized, so probably he's making some money. It's content creation at the end of it. There, I see.
Yeah. So that's it. Yeah, something else very interesting has popped up. On the Facebook timeline, you know, the Freemasons. Yeah, so we've been seeing some posts about Freemasons, you know, them doing some charitable events and whatnot. Yeah. So it sparked quite some outrage from different sectors of the, you know, our community. Or different sectors of just people around Zambia, and what's this in response to the Freemasons, like, you know, being more visible now than ever in the history of this country. Because now there's some photos I saw, like, of them. I don't know if that photo is in Zambia or what's this, but Yeah, they were doing some charitable events, and there's some picture captured. So this story has been making rounds on the socials.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think about that, man?
I think the first question I would ask is that I think we have people who don't know what Freemason is.
Okay.
What's this group?
Because the common belief, okay, let's put it this way: the common belief in Zambia, by the average Zambian or most Zambians, is to say Freemasons are a satanic cult. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the perception that I think a lot of people get when it comes to the Freemasons. So to see them being more visible, you know, in the country doing certain activities like the charitable events they're doing, has a lot of people worried. You know, so like you said, most people don't really know who the Masons are, where they're from, and what they do. We usually just get the second-hand information from somebody else telling us, like, oh, these are the Freemasons, and you know they're out here doing some evil, nefarious things, and we run with that narrative. Yeah. Do you know who the Freemasons are?
Individually?
Okay, let me go first. As in, for me, what I know,
Let me say, what do you know about the Freemasons?
What I know is that the Freemasons it's a secret cult. That's what I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Involved into charitable organization, like.
Yeah.
Okay. And you saying?
It's basically the same thing. It's a secret cult. So they call it like their secret society and all that. So they've got like beliefs that they have. So this thing is like an old thing. These people are old believers.
Yeah.
It's an old institution.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
600 years ago.
I see.
Yeah. So, yeah, they've got their own ways of giving to the community through charity.
Okay.
You know,
okay.
they do those things and. Fimbi, I don't know about what people.
Yeah.
You know, but definitely these are some people that are wealthy people. You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's I pretty much have a similar understanding of who they are, like you guys. I think they're a collective of people, wealthy people, who belong to a secret society,
of course,
who take part in various activity, charitable events being part of them, but they have different other activities they do. As to more detail of that, I would lie. Yeah, but anyway, let's do just a little read up on secret societies. Okay. So, now I don't know if I should use Wikipedia, because Wikipedia again is not a very credible source, you know.
No, it's credible.
You can kind of use it, but it's not the most credible source you can use. Yeah.
What's more credible than that?
No, the university journals, publications by media institutions are more reputable sources
than Wikipedia.
Like, yeah, because Wikipedia, even you can actually edit a Wikipedia page.
Yeah, you can actually do
so if somebody did a Wikipedia page about, let's say, Zambia, right? You can go in there and edit it, thereby corrupting that information and put something false in there. Yeah, so that's the thing with the Wikipedia. Right. It's not like, I hope you haven't been using it for like research at school and all those type of things.
Yeah, but like school, research is done. Google is the thing.
Yeah, but even on Google, when you're Googling articles and what's like, there's a way in which you.
Yeah, I know.
So that when you're doing your referencing there, you got. Are we good there? Okay. The way you were looking, man, I thought we went off. So let's get into a bit of who the Freemasons are. Freemasonry consists of fraternal groups that trace their origins to the medieval guilds of stonemasons. Okay? Fraternal groups, so these are fraternities. Freemasonry is the oldest secular fraternity in the world and among the oldest still existing organizations in history. Modern Freemasonry broadly consists of three main traditions: Anglo-American style Freemasonry, which insists that a volume of sacred law such as the Bible, Quran, or other religious texts should be open in a working lodge. that every member should profess belief in a supreme being and that only men should be admitted, and discussion of religion or politics does not take place within the lodge. Continental Freemasonry or liberal Freemasonry, which has continued to evolve beyond these restrictions, particularly regarding religious belief and what's this. Then there is also the women Freemasonry or co-Freemasonry, which includes organizations that either admit women exclusively, such as the Order of Women Freemasons and the Honorable Fraternity and Ancient Masons in the UK, or accept both men and women, such as the Detroit Humane. Women Freemasonry can learn both liberal and conservative, can lean both liberal or conservative, sometimes requiring a religion or not, depending on Grand Orient or obedience. Yeah. So those are the Freemasons. They are a secular fraternity. What is a fraternity? Let's just quickly do that. Because some of these words we are using, you know, you must know what they mean.
Fraterno.
Yeah, you will just be a fraternity, but you don't know.
Fraternity.
So we're confused about Nefusungo. But a large secret society group.
Okay. So a fraternity, from Latin frater or brother, and iti whence brotherhood, or fraternal organization. So a fraternity or fraternal organization is an organization, society or club or fraternal order traditionally of men but also women associated together for various religious or secular aims. Okay? So it is an organization, a society or club associated together for various religious or secular aims. An association or club or brotherhood that come together for either religious or secular aims. So for instance, you could say maybe like the Rotaract Club is a fraternity, or the Lions Club, that's a fraternity.
Yeah.
So the Freemason is a secular club who are also involved in charitable works and amongst a few other things. Yeah, so that's the reading that we've kind of picked up from there. So they are also kind of like suspected, even in these European countries and, you know, in America and all that, because of their secretive nature of doing things. Yeah. It's not something I think that is open to everyone as per se when it comes to certain information.
Yeah.
So that causes, I think, anytime you have a group of people that has a very secretive kind of like club or association, it leaves room for speculation. You know?
Yeah.
And the other thing that makes it even more, that causes a lot of speculation as well, I think, is the fact that there are a lot of, there are a lot of influential people in these, in the Freemasonry fraternity. You know, you have a lot of top politicians, sometimes presidents of countries, you know, people in very influential positions.
Yeah.
So that kind of led to that whole feeling that this is some kind of secret society that is meant to kind of create some secretive world order and, you know, manipulate society into different type of things. Yeah, but for a fact that is not established. Yeah, so they do have their website as well. You can actually check it out there. There are some Masons who post videos on YouTube about what Freemasonry is and the likes. So that is Freemasonry.
Yeah.
Okay? But, where do you think the whole Masonry narrative of them being like Satanists came from, like particularly in Zambia? Because that's the narrative that is there. Where do you think that came from? And do you think it holds any what?
Just not Zambia. With the whole Satanist thing. So maybe outside here, outside of Zambia, they call it like a cult. Like they usually call it like cult now. So I think they've got the same mindset. It's about they think we're all thinking the same. Like these people are, they meet somewhere secret. They don't know, they do some rituals somewhere.
But I mean, like in Zambia specifically, like where do you think that narrative came from?
Yeah, I also picked it up from how people out there think. You think like people like someone was just explained that God was Freemason and then when I said no. Yeah, many guys on like for me the first time I heard that was like so it was concerning music.
Yes.
You know, definitely it was concerning music. Certain artist was mentioned. This thing is in public domain. The artist, if you know about it, like but I see if you no. Hip hop music, Jay-Z mentioning because he mentioned one or two lines or something, trying to So no, those people are in such groups. It's this and this and this what they do. What Tambako guys, but it's like explain per YouTube.
Yes.
So now from there, every kind of wants to for one thing, okay. Unless if you just read about it, just like we've read. So a white person maybe writes that because when a lot of white people don't really believe in superstition and no. It's always us here back here, always thinking like there's something, anything that's a secretive. You just said no kwa room abantu tabengira aisha ina room munyumba esa mangenamo funzana banzake sun blessed senya kauka
he always goes in that
someone saying that like straight but when I'm gonna fade in a secretive that you've been secretive, it makes people feel that there's something more to that. And then maybe now you know what it is, and then with people like reaching a conclusion fast with if something is secretive. You know
just to kind of agree with Saint. So even me when I heard about the first time I heard about the Freemasons, it's concerning the same music. So it was like, yo, my guys wanna join our organization. Okay, lack of a better term, like Steve Combat wanna join us wanna join organization, wanna join one of my satanists. That's when I heard of the Freemasons. Like that's so from that time I've always thought like, oh, these guys, it's ABCD. So when you are part of that group, initially they'll call you as a what? As a satanist. Right? And the other thing is that the reason why us like right now here in Zambia, like the thing is that the symbols they use, of course, we've seen like on social media, YouTube, Instagram, where people interpret certain symbols. So the moment you see those symbols, it's just like, So just to kind of add on what Saint said, like especially in Ghanaian artists. So there's some dude, this ring, bro. This. It's like, so your mom number vana maring ngayo ring you.
Attach it to something,
you know. Maybe you're a Mason, man.
It's just fashion, bro. It's fashion. I was like,
you know,
hiyo kwanjana ring. So you kutoka pe mnatisana na chile wanu. Kuona umevaa ring hiyo.
So people already attaching this to But then like with the Freemason, so I was reading someone says the ring is usually on this finger.
The middle finger.
Yeah. Like this is the pinky finger, right?
No, that's the middle finger.
Middle finger, bro.
Pinky is the small one.
The small one, yeah. Sorry.
Bro.
This one.
Yeah.
Not the pinky one, but this finger. So they usually like wear the thingy on that one. Yeah, usually. So that's how they recognize each other and through signs. Yeah.
Okay, I see. I think like when it comes to the Masons, like it's a similar situation for me. I probably came across them like through music and the internet. So that was my information point as to say what the Masons are and what's this. But it was all very... It was surface level stuff. It's just you hear mention here, mention there. And there were those videos you would watch about the Illuminati and whatnot. An interesting point again. So this is another confusion people make. People think the Freemasons and the Illuminati are the same organization, but they're different. The Illuminati was a very older secret society. The Freemasons are a different secret society. So there's that difference, but to most people they just blend everything and
they marry them.
What it is, yes. So like it was through music and all of this, but it was always surface level stuff, nothing really concrete of my own. And then the next mention of Freemasonry I heard was in reference to the current Zambian president. There were certain rumors I heard saying, "Oh, he's a Mason." And that narrative went on for a bit, you know. But the way it was kind of introduced to Zambians, like the Masonry is kind of like, oh, these are Satanists, they believe in this and they do this, and that. Yeah. So that was my introduction to it. But I think, you know, there's something else I've noticed about us as a people in Zambia. It's like the best way to say it is like yeah, there's a song that Danny Kaya is one of Zambia's top musicians. Google him, you can check out his music on YouTube. Make sure you follow up on that, man.
Oh, yeah.
So Danny Kaya had the song called Mwewena Zambia. What was the title of that song? Conclude. Yes. So pretty much he says Mwewena Zambia mwaliwama, but your problem is mula conclude
fast.
Yes, you conclude fast before you really understand the facts to a situation. Like, you know, you are good people, but you conclude on things you don't really have the facts on.
Yeah.
Yes. So he was quite right about that observation about Zambians. So there's a lot of things that come into our space, especially now with social media.
Yeah.
Where people will just see something on social media, they will not take the time to validate it, do their own research on it, you know, and accept that whole narrative as the truth. You know, that's why I felt it was important that we, you know, have a bit of background information as to who are these people, not just based off of what we're hearing.
Yeah.
You know, and even what we've done is very surface level. You know, people should take on that responsibility of informing themselves correctly. We're in a very special time, a very tricky time where like misinformation is at its highest.
Yeah.
Hey.
You know, so because somebody will just come and post a narrative online and then it keeps running like that. You know, so even with the Freemasons and everything, like I bet if you went on the street and asked, did just a bit of a survey, just asking people like, do you know who the Masons are? You know, and if you ask people where they got that information, like it's not a very credible source. They probably heard it from somebody else who told them that.
Yeah.
But they've never ever verified it.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just narratives that you're going by that you don't really understand. And that's not to say that whatever assumptions they might have might not be true, but do the work to go and like, you know,
Find
research
out.
these things, find out. It's not enough for somebody to just tell you something and you believe it, because that's how you get taken advantage of. That's why even scamming now is so easy. Somebody will come and tell you some nonsense and be like, oh yeah, I know a guy who put his money into that, he made money and whatever, and you just believe it.
Yeah.
You don't do any research about the company, you just think, oh, and you go, without not knowing what's going on.
Oh, yeah.
So that is a very bad aspect of us as a people, and I think we need to work on that. We need to critically look at issues. And you know, when you bring politics in the mix also, it becomes even trickier.
Oh, yeah.
I personally think politicians have figured out that the majority of the population does not look at things very critically. You know, because you know our education system also doesn't equip us for that.
Yeah.
So we were people who are moved by very baseless things.
Yeah.
What they do is they'll make statements that they know will tickle or pull at your emotions, and then they'll take advantage of those narratives. You see that? And that's not to say that, again, like I'm saying, whatever they might be saying is true or what's this, but go and verify it for yourself.
Yeah.
You know? So this whole thing, when it comes to the Masons, it's all these things we're seeing in the media about no Masons, and, you know, kind of the illusion that the president is a Mason. And, you know, trying to connect those two things, like the Masons are a Satanist group, so if the president is part of that, or, you know, that kind of thing.
Then what do we have?
All those allegations.
But
you
the
know?
president, he refused.
Yeah, you see, so making all those kinds of allegations. But again, you have to see who's making those statements. What are their motives? What are their agendas? What do they seek to benefit from this, if they could benefit anything, you know? And also find out, beyond that, what is the truth, you know? That's the whole thing with this masonry thing. Like, we conclude too much. And like you said, people just believe anything.
Yeah.
You know? Even with the music, it's like, no. I mean, like I've worked with you, so I know what that is. You know? It's got nothing to do with what people think. But somebody out there genuinely believes you're doing some dark, evil stuff because you started wearing rings.
Oh, yeah.
And some chick at church was like, so like, bro, what's with you? Like, you've started on putting this my God things. Like, are you okay?
Like wing if
But
you're not
wasn't
okay.
gold meant to be worn?
Hey, it's jewelry.
So you mean I can't put on a God necklace? I can't put on a God ring? I can't put on a God watch?
You know,
Music.
so there are too many speculations. So guys, don't just be suspicious of things. Yes, be on the lookout, but also don't just conclude things. Go and do research. Don't just believe something because somebody told you, oh, this is what it is. You know, people have agendas behind some of the things they tell us. You see what people are saying? Va changing, va boy. You know,
Yes.
not say, bandani manaboya kamba tosavala machitechi. So if you go to church, because even me right now, if I wanted, I can start a church. You know, start preaching. Make sure I tell you all these very nice things. And one day I'll just say, "Mwida my t-shirt ya white." You know, and I'll give you a reason which is flimsy. And believe me, some people will go and believe that because they are not even taking the time to verify the stuff. Yeah. So that's my position on the Freemasonry thing. Like, I don't know whether it's true or not. You know, traditionally, it's not a traditional Zambian fraternity. We do have fraternities here that already kind of do like charitable works and whatnot. But you know, it's there already. You know, and it's not a religious thing. So you can't really ban it to say, oh, stop doing what you're doing, because they're not doing anything illegal at the end of the day. And if you go and decide, oh, we're going to stop you from doing whatever you're doing because people suspect that you can't arrest somebody, like you can't ban somebody just based off of suspicion. You must produce enough evidence to say that, oh, these people are doing A, B, C, and D.
Yeah.
Prove, show to say that, oh, if when you can prove and show well and good, then we've got no argument there. But it doesn't make sense, you know, and then you expect us just to believe you. No, you must bring more concrete evidence.
Yeah, I think just to, in terms of, like you mentioned, in terms of politics, I think the reason why there's been more allegations on the president is that they have associated his putting on of white gloves, like, oh, I'm a Masons of while I'm white gloves, and this dude or this president has been putting on what? White gloves. And the other thing is that they've never, here in Zambia, they've never come out like to host I don't know if it's a conference, because we saw those pictures. It was like, so since this dude came in power, they've come out now in public. So this dude is a what? Is a Mason. And there's a post I read. Let me just read. I said Times of Zambian Dollar. This is 30th March 2001.
Yeah.
I quit Masonic movement Mazoka. That is the founder of UPND.
Yes.
United Party of National Development, UPND presidential, Anderson Mazoka, says he stopped being a Freemason because he wanted to concentrate on organizing the party.
Okay.
Mr. Mazoka explained that he was now changed person and that it was wrong for people to insist that he was still a Mason. Yeah, I think that's the reason why they've been associating UPND like
yes. Because I remember there have been those rumors like about HH prior to him becoming president. Those rumors have been there for a while, you know. So it's not something new as per se, that association. But you know, I think the gloves just add an extra touch to it, like Maona man. You know? But again, it's speculative. To those people that kind of believe this is a nefarious and evil group, what I would say to them is, look, just give me some proof. Give me some evidence. Show me who these people are. Based off of some proper research, not just assumptions or hearsay and what's this to say, oh, these people are like this and like this. Based off of this, the evidence is here. And then just come and tell me you expect to believe. No.
It politics. Who is this? Mr. Musoma, the ZRP president. He said something like, yo, if you were to put us in power,
allegedly,
it was on his thing.
Okay.
Like, it's a video, it's him saying in the video.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're not going to quote you like saying the exact, but something to that. He said
Yeah,
something.
he was saying if you were to vote him in power, I'll demolish all the buildings that these Masonic guys built because they're Satanist.
And you see, even this whole thing, like me, I actually remember seeing a Masonic building or temple, like that was like around 2015. If you go Shantumbu Road, just go straight in front, somewhere there on the right. If you're coming from, let's say Chideng, you get onto Shantumbu Road and you start going straight. Somewhere on the right, there's a Masonic thingy there. I saw that in 2015. You know, so I think they've been present in the country, just maybe not as we are seeing them visually right now.
That building is still there.
It's still there?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. But the last time I think I saw it was like around 2015.
It's there. It's there.
2016, somewhere there. Yeah. So that's that, you know. So it's a funny thing, though. Like, you know. But why do you think Zambians like concluding things like that?
It's African, man.
No, yeah, it's not only in Zambia.
Okay, it's not only in Zambia.
It's
but
not only in
this case,
Zambia but if you look at again the way they joined the Masonic group, it's not everyone.
Yeah.
The problem is that it's renowned people, like people with power, people with money.
Yeah.
Ekamboanga can't be part of the Masonic group.
Well, I don't think that's necessarily true. There are people of influence and power in the organization, but then there are also other members who don't necessarily hold places of influence or power in society. Yeah. So I don't think it's just like, you know.
Have you ever heard of anyone who is just a nobody, like he's part of the
feel
group?
like, because even when you like research about these guys, it's these people help each other. So so what we should say is that mostly the members that are chosen to be in those institutions are
They
people
actually choose you, not you to choose to join.
There are people with high positions in society.
In society, yeah.
So for me,
So
what I
that's-
saw,
yeah.
was that the Masons don't come and pick you, say, "Oh, come and join." You yourself must come through and say you want to join.
Hey.
When you go there to say you want to
Don't
join,
you think people
then now they validate you and see whether you are worthy to be in their circle. Yeah.
But I mean, they could also approach you if you've got like a very good position in society.
Yeah.
No, according to them, they don't approach people. That's what they say.
Oh, okay. Why would you
People
want to
just
go and
go
approach
join
them
them.
then? If they're
Well,
secret?
you would have probably heard about them, found out about them, and whatever they put out there about themselves. And if you kind of know there are some influential people in there, you want to be in closer proximity to power.
Is it because
Like, I'm not going to join a clique of broke dudes, like people, just to be broke and just, no. I'm going to join where I think I can get some leverage and power.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same reason, like, maybe not the same reason, but similar reasons why people will join political parties or something. You're not joining a political party just to go join them for fun. No. You want to be in proximity to power.
Wow.
That's what it is with these guys.
There they come.
Yeah.
So just to I don't like on really and TV really Mutambo. So she was like, so you've seen they've started now coming out publicly, because even here in UK, you know, if you mention the Masons, even the white people are scared. They know that it's an organization. It's the Satanist, like.
Well, look, again, here's the other thing. Just because it's white people doesn't give it more authority. You know, you shouldn't think just
That's
because
true,
it came
yeah.
from a white person, then it has more credibility.
And it's the gospel truth.
They're also just people. They equally have people who are ignorant as well.
Yeah.
You know,
A lot
it's not
of them.
everyone who's white who's smart. In the same way that it's not everyone who's black who's smart.
Yeah.
You know, there are certain members of their society who might just be as uninformed as us. And then there are those pockets of society that know better. So I don't care if it's the person in the UK who says this. Bring me the proof. That's what I'm asking for. You know? So with that said, like, I'm not promoting the Masons. But then again, like, okay, they're here. What am I supposed to do? Are they doing anything bad, evil, nefarious? Do they have a history of that? If they do, kindly show me the proof, then we'll take the appropriate action. Otherwise, if you just come to me and tell me, oh, I've been so and so, no. That's how now you end up just doing witch hunts. You know, Chimochi, like, it's
do witch
that
hunts.
situation, it could be there, perform. Then somebody comes to tell me like, oh, now shati cousin over that way is on. Padum guys, I'm Pelican and Caninium guys. Then I get up and now start accosting that guy or go and tell the police at New York. How? What's the evidence?
Yeah, but
you know, even the police can just get up and just go.
Yeah.
They might go in for questioning. If they find, you know, like any substantiative evidence, then maybe they might lock him up. But they can't just go and get somebody based off of me saying, no, we had it so. You know, people can be malicious and say things for different reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But do you think, let's say if Saint here is a musician, then why sound Vavata?
Yeah.
Saint now join. Do you think how do you think the family would think of him at that point?
No, you see, that's the thing. Like, because already, like, that's what I was saying. People already have an understanding of what they think it is. They have an assumption of what they think that thing is.
Yeah.
So they're definitely going to look at him based off of that. Because they don't have more information than what they've already been presented with. You know, so they're going to look at him like that. There are certain things, not even masonry, but there are just certain things which if you go and do, like your family is going to look at you like, what? You know? I mean, I'll give you an example even just like, let's just say business itself. You know, you go out there, you say, oh, Derek school, I'm going to do business. Do you know how most parents will look at you and, you know, like maybe now, because, you know, people and parents are kind of getting open to the idea.
Yeah,
oh, business also works. It's another alternative to, you know, somebody having a meaningful and successful life, you know. But rewind that, go back 10 years ago or even 15 years ago, and then you stop school, you go tell your parents you're going to do business. Do you know how they would look at you? Even if you had the best and most rock solid idea, they would still look at you and tell you, no, bro, just finish.
Like you lost it.
You get what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter if it's our relatives. They're going to have those thoughts of what they have. But does it mean they really understand what they're rejecting or judging?
Yeah.
You know, that's just my point. Like, we need to move from that mindset, like critical thinking.
Because already, let's say the way me and Saint we're musicians, no. Let's hope if my ingira mo ifi. Then hope na mwishi waba kushitana gani.
That's very warped reasoning. You know that, like, it doesn't make sense to me. So only a musician can do that.
Yeah, the one to associate you like, okay, so for you, the time you blow, let's hope you won't donate anyone in the family.
Hey.
Only a musician can do that.
Just imagine.
It doesn't make sense. Anyone can do that, you know. So it's one of those. But anyway, those are the Masons. If they came to you and asked you to join, would you join?
Not asking me, bro.
Yes, bro, like, I'm just asking, like, picture that you did. You know, you're trying to make it in this career. And they approach you, they're like, yo, you know, you look like a reasonable young man.
Okay.
You've got good prospects. We would like to make you a member of our society, you know, and help you with your aspirations.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you know, not just on the Zambian level, but, you know, we'll take you global. You know, you're going to be on stages with the biggest of the artists, you know. Get your Taylor Swift feature.
Yeah. Conditions, join in?
Yeah.
No, first of all, man, like, I'm a Christian. Okay. Yeah, so anything that has to do with me jeopardizing that particular thing is crazy like that. But
but it's a secular fraternity. It's not a religious fraternity. So they're not telling you to change your religion.
Yeah, but before they even approach me, or if they approach me, I would already know who they are and what they believe in and know that. So yeah, it would be according to what I believe. Like if they are not really in this. You see, like we said, right? Like these people, they do charity.
Yes.
Of course, I would want to be part of that, giving back to the community. But then, like when it says like secret, I don't know what happens there. So should I sign something if I don't know what happens? I'm secret. No, at
that point, then it changes.
Yeah, but then you maybe you have to sign before you know that.
That's chic.
That's crazy.
That's chic.
Yeah.
There's
so if
no
I have
way
to sign before I know what's going to happen
to you before you sign.
Yeah. So that means I'm babe.
But anyway, we need to find someone. We need to find the Mason and ask them. Like,
yeah.
how was it
Maybe,
for
yeah.
joining
Come
or
on, my
something like
values,
that?
kind of,
We'll see what account they
stay in
use.
line, then we're doing it. If they're in line, then we're doing it.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy. No. So that's the Masons. Blessed. Would you join if they asked you to join?
The first thing I would ask for the first. Okay,
How
finish in the first.
No, we've seen your young man with potential. You know, we've heard some.
Yeah,
music,
so they've
we
already
the way
told
you're
you
doing
that.
your thing, and we'd like to be a part of what you're doing.
The first thing is, okay, what is it that you want to benefit from me joining you?
We think you'd be a good addition to our organization, you know, because you're somebody very talented. You've got a positive message. You bring a positive outlook on our organization and help us to reach other younger people like you to, you know, create more positive situations.
Yeah.
This guy would say yes.
This guy is saying yes.
No, I'm worried about this guy.
So getting all these Sunday night, all these Sunday mornings.
Okay, so here's my point. Okay, all right. First and foremost, all right. Kumva first. If I join, all right. This is what you're going to do for me, A, B, C, D. And I've heard the Mason group is that even when you're a Christian, you can join. But I'm not saying that you should go and join. No. You can join, you can join. As long as they're not changing my religious and as long as I'm not doing certain things out of my religion.
Yes.
Bro.
One time.
Amen.
Chapo afi.
Aye.
Kuji shiba fi. Kaya for the konkera mudia.
My guy. My Mason.
So it's different. So like, if you ask us again, like Illuminati, then to be different.
Yeah. It is because the Illuminati is a different.
It's different now.
They
It's
go
the
by
same.
different
Oh yeah.
rules, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, like I think you're right. You know, you find out if they have beliefs or values that are contrary to your value system, then don't join.
Yeah.
You can.
Yeah.
You know.
Based off of that, of course. Yeah. So that's it. You know, stay awake. You know, we're not saying you should go and join the Masons. I'm not saying they're a good or bad organization. All I'm saying is find out more about them. Yeah. Don't just hear what you hear because somebody said this.
Somebody said that.
Catch 10 research and then mkaverenge mabuku, mafoni yalipo magugu. Find out all those things for yourself. Yeah. So that you are more informed and you can make more informed decisions. If you find out for sure they're evil, then stay away from them. You know? Even if you don't find out that they're evil, you know, if you have your reservations, there's no problem. Let it be. Yeah, so that's that.
If you're an atheist, and then you find that, okay, of course, they're evil. So what are you doing there?
So if you're an atheist, I think you can't necessarily be a part of them. Because they do say that you have to believe in some
super
kind of
being,
supreme
right?
being.
Your supreme being, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's the thing.
So
anyway,
as an atheist, you're already kicked out.
Yeah.
Yeah, because an atheist doesn't believe.
Because you're not believing in anything at all.
Yeah. What you got for us, man?
Oh yeah, so
bro, you're looking like you had a very heavy meal. Eh?
No. So
Dear Maningi. That's why they're saying these rings that you're wearing, getting too comfortable, man.
All right, so Fashion Sakala had his second success of hosting the Fashion Sakala tournament in Eastern Province.
Nice.
This time it was bigger and better. The prize was 1.6 million kwacha.
1.6 million kwacha.
Yeah.
Yo, that's like a good prize money for somebody just in Jakarta there.
Yeah, and this time around, Pezeni was present at
Yeah.
the David Kaunda Stadium, like when the final game was playing.
That's great,
so
man, to have that kind of support.
Yeah. So now my question is like, how much do you think Fashion Sakala get?
No, Fashion Sakala is getting a lot of money.
Because he went at Saudi it wasn't disclosed at how much they bought the dude.
Yeah.
So now if he's managing to organize such kind of tournaments.
Yeah.
How much do you think this dude
No,
gets
he's
per week?
getting quite a lot of money. I'm sure his earnings are not public record.
No.
Are you sure?
Not. Yeah,
It
they're
hasn't
not.
been disclosed.
Yeah.
Oh, he's probably getting a lot of money.
So if you can manage to sponsor a tournament of 1.6 million kwacha.
How much is Barbara getting? Banda.
She's also getting some money.
Okay, these guys who are playing
Patson, Barbara.
These guys are now millionaires. That's what you have to realize. Like, they're now millionaires, not in kwacha, but
In dollars.
dollar millionaires. So it's a big deal. It's a lot of money. And for him to sponsor something worth that much, 1.4 million kwacha, he's definitely got a couple $1 million in the bank. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if he's getting on a monthly basis in the 100,000s or so.
So like how much is that? Like 1.6, because that's like
1.4
1.6 million kwacha.
Yeah, 1.6 million kwacha. That's like thousands of dollars.
Let's see. Let's do that quick.
That's
So
like
that's, you said what's the prize money again?
Yeah, 1.6.
1.6, eh? So 1.6.
put the dollar at 20,
So let's put it at 24.
24, yeah.
So that's $66,000 dollars.
Yeah.
So maybe on annual, he's probably getting more than maybe more than $50,000 a week.
A week.
Because these guys get paid per week.
Yeah.
So maybe in a month that's about 300 or so. So even that sponsorship, that's something he makes in a week.
In a week.
You know, I'm assuming that's how much he makes.
Because here we're assuming that fashion might be getting more than Patson, right?
How
Yeah,
much,
probably.
how
No,
much is
he's-
Patson getting?
Because like Patson is getting how much? You tell 1 point something at that time.
In kwacha per month.
A
We
week
need
for
to
a
get
shilling.
those figures right. But
A
anyway,
week for a
another
shilling.
thing you also need to put in there, because the
Ah, 1
Saudis are trying
million,
to
yeah.
boost their league also.
Yeah.
You know, that's why they are signing people like Ciara, you know, big names. And they're paying them a lot of money to encourage more people to go to their league and make their league a big deal. And Fashion Sakala is a top scorer in the Saudi league.
Yeah.
So that's another thing you need to consider. So he's not a small boy in the Saudi league. He's a top player.
Yeah.
So he's probably getting the buck because he scored quite a number of goals for his team.
Yeah.
So for him to sponsor that 1.4, it's nothing, bro. I get that in a week, dog.
Like, yeah.
So that's
Because you
imagine
think like
sponsoring a tournament.
$66,000. Like, these guys, I think they get a lot of money.
They
even
do.
in a week.
It's just something
That's
just something that I'm going
That's
by.
change. But then I love that Nankana because like I think that's what we need. Like my guys are at Moaya, Mwapang Kakuda. This country still needs you guys.
Yes.
You know, like there still needs to be not even if you you go, you even studying, you go outside there, you come back here, develop this place, guys.
And that's a good
You know?
model. Like we need to do more of that, you know. Go out there, get what you have to get, but come back and improve where
You come back here and improve this place.
Yeah, don't forget where you come from. Come back and improve.
You have to come
Contribute
back
to
here.
the society that made you.
We're here to see something from Mr. Patson. Obviously, you know, everyone has got their own timing and how they do things. And we know you're in the background, maybe you might be doing things that we're not aware of.
Yeah.
But then we need more people, because when we see these other people will be inspired,
Yes,
and then
to do
they'll
that
come to
as
board,
well.
and then we'll be
Yes.
able to see that through the media. If we know.
Like what you
So
said,
it's a good-
I think there are other players that are really contributing something to the community, but they've said no. I don't want to come out in public like I'm doing ABC.
Yeah.
Nana moneka ningwa tempia, family gara ndomba,
Oh, yeah,
or
yeah,
shishani,
for other reasons.
or maybe that's the reason for fashion, the reason why he hasn't disclosed.
I see what you
Same,
but again, you see, already people know you got the money.
People know now that
Like
you
it's
have
public
money.
record. You can
Yeah.
only deny so much.
You
Yeah.
know,
You play in the Premier.
you know,
not
You know
coming
you're
back.
getting paid in
Yeah.
in pound, bro.
You know
Premier
this
League,
thing
not
of not,
Division 1,
No.
not Division 2, not
You-
Super League. No, Premier League, bro.
you know this,
You made some, quite heavy contributions to the team.
yeah,
You're a top player from where you came from.
from where you came from, and then you go continue there.
So the transfer fee. So it's not small, man.
'Cause this-
Pounds, bro.
Because there's this thing about you, bro. There's this thing about Africans and just not letting people know, like, or even parents are like, now shati banoko baba wiso bafura shinga. Takwali kuisho vato go Africa start talk about fura and then singawadi ba free or open for maybe you might know at kwali bakwe but I don't think so.
Nothing.
You know.
You will never hear that from your parents.
Yeah.
No. They tell you in what context.
In what,
No, because thank you very much. Mwashta mentioned that you never know how much your parent gets paid. Just sorry to factor in this. Sorry for bringing out this. Why is it that I'm a gentleman, have some pay slips to their wives? They don't know. They don't want the wife to know the actual amount he gets paid.
I think it depends on who. I don't think it's something you can just stick on everyone.
Yeah. Some,
not everyone.
Because how long can you hide that?
Yeah.
How long are you hiding that paper or whatever slip? When you get paid, your wife is just never near you.
And also, like I'm saying,
some get to an extent where they go and duplicate another pay.
Well, if you're in that situation, it's a bit tricky. It's a bit tricky because it shows there's a lack of trust in your relationship.
But most of these people that are married,
well, that's a statement you're making, and unless you can verify it, like me,
but we've heard. Listen, Mr. K.
You have to.
We've heard. I think we can bring.
How many people have you heard from?
I don't want to mention names.
No, not names, just numbers. Give me some figures. Because you do know there are more than 10 million people in Zambia.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing, how many married couples do we have in Zambia? They're in the millions. So for you to say most, have you talked to 1 million people?
Okay,
but anyway, it's a generally.
Okay, you're supposed to use some, eh?
Yeah.
Okay, some men.
Some is a fair assessment.
Yeah. We're on that fair.
All right, I'll put it bad. A lot of them.
Still sticks on a lot, huh?
Yeah.
Anyway,
a lot of these gentlemen, they don't disclose their pay slip.
They've
always said, some of these guys have always said, like, no, don't let your wife know the actual money that you get. Don't.
So I still think it comes back down to a lack of trust for one of two reasons. One is that you don't know how she will respond when you show her your paycheck.
Yeah.
But your fear is that she will respond negative. Then two is that you have shown her at a certain point in time, and the way she responded to that was not good. Okay? It's not what you expected. It was contrary to what you expected. So now you no longer trust her to say, like, I can't show her how much I'm making, because last time I gave her this amount of money and then she went and spent it recklessly like this.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what it comes back to.
Yeah.
So in that case, it goes back to know your person.
Yeah.
You know, these are some of the things that you need to get through when you're dealing with somebody, especially like nowadays, financial issues. Those should be a very huge discussion that you have when you're dating somebody. Unfortunately, I think what happens is when people are dating or they're courting, it's like, you get lost in this whole whirlwind of love and romance. You're busy kissing each other, telling each other, I love you, and all that nonsense. You're feeling good. You offer high, But that doesn't last, and it's feelings. Feelings are fleeting. Today you feel happy, tomorrow you feel sad, you feel what's this. You need more concrete principles that your relationship can be based on. So you need to actually go through those things. But now if you're wrapped up in that whole thing, you're still feeling romance and you're not really living with somebody, so you don't really know the true them. And you're dating this person for a short while here and there, before you know it, you're already getting married and what's this. Then now, the true person starts getting revealed. Then now you find out, then now you start paying attention to their spending habits or their financial habits. Then you realize they're not compatible with yours. You see that? But that's why you need to take time to know somebody. So that all those things, they start being more evident. You start learning them. So what is your stance on this? So sometimes you don't even ask. Just see how the money spending is going. Say, okay, let me try this person. What happens if I give them 100? Are they going to be able to keep it? If I give her, let's say, maybe 2,000, is she going to be able to keep that money, build something off of it? Is she able going to do that? What happens if I borrow money from her? How is she going to respond to that? What happens if I ask her, say, if I'm going to get a loan, how is she going to respond to that? Because sometimes the difficult thing with asking somebody is we can all give very well-flavored answers. But our actions show something contrary. So there's those aspects. So when it comes to hiding my paychecks, I think that's the reason. It's fundamentally a lack of trust, because somebody has shown you why you shouldn't trust them, or you are skeptical to say that if I trust this person with this, they'll take it the wrong way.
It was just by the way thing.
Yeah.
And then just to talk about, I don't understand why you would be married to someone, man, and never just that issue can never come up, because like because then you'll be making plans with this person.
Yeah.
Based on what?
No,
like you're making plans of financial. Oh, tukakureko kule kunani. So tunakuonyesha kumnani kana. There are certain plans that you can make according to nefo ishwe mpiyesha hapo. Nombe wenze kala bepa kusha toine na landira tin pa 5. So dionse kula kusha vya so me kaila na mtumansi. Like sometimes guys. So you know what hurts someone?
Yeah.
Sasa find out that 5 years. What 5 years? That cannot carry on, man.
Yeah.
She'll feel very betrayed. 5 years is too much.
Yeah.
So that's going to make her feel very betrayed, and you won't have the same home after. I'm just assuming, because that's a long time for someone.
Yeah,
to not know, for you to be lying, so then it should be just what else?
But even for her, I think, to be lied to, I know, but again, it's one of those things.
No,
there's some guys who are swift, let me not say. Some guys who are swift.
Yeah.
But it's, you have to be, those are things you really need to pay attention to.
Yeah.
Again, that's what I'm saying. Like, you need to pay attention to that. And unfortunately, you're saying, how do you get into it? Happens, Like like that's what I'm saying. The tragedy with love is you fall into love, and it hijacks your logical thing.
Yeah.
It kills all of that stuff, and you'll be meshed up in this whole whirlwind of love and romance, and you think, oh yeah, no, this is the one I love and whatever. And sometimes they'll show you to say that you shouldn't trust them, but because you're still in that kahai, that state, you decide, or you think, I know. They'll probably change.
Yeah.
You see that, and then you keep going on with it. And the truth is, we are not taught these things. You see, that's one of the biggest tragedies for our generations. Like, we are not taught these things. The people who are teaching us come from a totally different generation than we do. So even our relationship with finances is very different than them. And they also haven't realized that. They haven't updated the teachings on that to suit our context. So unfortunately, we get into these relationships without being taught a lot of fundamental things that we need to know before we go into a marriage. I always kick back to, like, that's where you see, like, in the older times, the initiation ceremonies played an important part, because those were your rites of passage. They also taught you what you should expect in society, things to look for as you are going on to that journey. But we no longer have that. We all just grow. Predominantly, most of the times we're at school. No one ever told me anything, say, in relation to women and money.
Yeah.
I've never had that conversation with anyone. Say, oh, bro, when you're picking a woman, it's like this and like this and like that. No. These are things you just figure out as you're going.
As you go.
You get burnt here, you get burnt there.
You will figure it out.
Yeah, you figure, but some people don't. They don't get to that point until it's too late.
That's the sad part.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it comes back to that. It's those things. It's a lack of trust, and we are lacking a lot of teaching as well. So you find yourself in these situations where, like, you're somebody you don't really trust, and it's unfortunate. But you need to learn a lot more things than just saying you're in love with somebody.
Anyway, it was a by the way thing. So Fashion Sakala had a successive thing. The prize was 1.6 million kwacha. He contributed, I think, 900 blankets.
Okay.
Then 47 wheelchairs.
Wheelchairs.
Yeah. So which is a good thing. It's a good thing. Do you think every player should be returning something to the community?
Yes, every player should return something to the community, and this should extend beyond football. Every Zambian, whatever community you're from, you should go back to the community, be on the ground, do something. Even you don't have to be Fashion Sakala to do something. Unfortunately, people think you need millions and millions of money to do something. Sometimes it's not even about money. Just contribute your effort to a communal activity or movement. You know, be part of the community. That's a thing I think that has died over time with our our system. Like the community has died. It's now very individualistic. If somebody is doing something, they're working on a project, it's all about me and my family. What about your community? You know, I used to stay in Chilenge some time back, and there was this point where there was like a group of thugs that was terrorizing the hood. You know, like these guys used to move like 15 deep. You know, so if you're moving around like let's say 21, this time, Vakusanga, you know, and they used to terrorize that spot where I used to live there.
Oh yeah.
So before, like, you know, you'd be there in the house maybe like at midnight or 02, you hear somebody, even just as early as 23, 22, you hear somebody shouting outside, you know, again, somebody's been decked outside, you know. And initially I would stay in the house, but then I figured, like, you know what, one day it's going to be me out there, and no one's going to come out. So after that, I started coming out now. Whenever I hear somebody shout, pick up a paw or something, call up the homies, hey, someone's shouting outside there, let's go, you know. But even when we did that, like, the disappointing thing was the rest of the street and everybody else in that road never would come out. You see that?
Oh, yeah.
So the community is dead. You need the community to be more powerful. So people need to contribute to their communities. You know, hosting, just even simple things like what Fashion has done. Even though it's not a simple thing to host that whole tournament and put up that money. But you can do smaller type versions of it. Get in the community, get active, engage the kids. And the more things like this you have, it also helps the socio-economic issue of, like, you know, the way we're talking about Mozo and rehab, you know, a lot of kids are falling into substance abuse and all these things. Because the environment also doesn't help. There's no activities for children and the youth. You know, there aren't too many sports amenities and whatnot. So if you have a situation where you're not doing anything in the community, it becomes a very helpless situation. But if you're there, you're organizing these small things. Those small things, to it might be a small thing, but there's somebody to touch and impact who might go on to become a greater person. And then now come back with the resource. Because even Fashion, for him to do that, you see, Fashion is from, where is he from?
Eastern Province.
Eastern Province, which part?
Not really sure.
No, not Petauke. It's another,
it's in the deep
it's a village.
journeys.
Not Lunda.
Watson Sakala is from Eastern Province. He was from the village. For him to be able to play football in Saudi Arabia, somebody had to organize some football arrangements for him to showcase his skill. You see that? And that's why he's coming back, because he saw the power of just what that little exposure has done for him. You know? But that goes beyond, not just footballers. Every one of us, we need to go back to the community and contribute.
You owe it to the land.
Find different things
of work and joy.
Yes.
Yeah.
It should be the land of work and joy for real.
Of course.
You know, not just the land of work, man. Like, you're just out here working, we're all isolated.
Land of work and joy and unity. Make sure.
Joy in unity.
Joy
work in unity also. Now, if it's like work alone, you joy in unity.
Joy uko.
Work uko. Work.
Joy.
You know, but joy.
Joy wake up and babe.
Yeah, but that's it, man. Fashion Sakala, big ups to that. That was big moves, man. Big moves, very inspirational. You know, continue doing that, giving back to the community and the country at large, and to all of the rest of y'all. Keep giving, stay safe, do your research. Do your research on the Freemasons, then make your decisions off of that, you know. Don't record your intimate moments, and I think we can call it a wrap with that.
Till next episode. Bye-bye.
Peace.